What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman. Coming up in today's show, we're actually going to start off with an absolute wild Zach LaVine for Kevin Durant trade idea I saw out there on the internet, so just kind of wanted to give my thoughts on that. Then also, Klay Thompson, one of the big-name free agents, hitting free agency this summer. Does it make sense for the Chicago Bulls to sign him? We'll dive into that. And then lastly, I have an elite shot blocker that I do want the Bulls to sign this offseason. Let's start off with the insane trade idea I saw out there. So this was, I think this is Bleacher Report who suggested this trade, but they had the Bulls receiving Kevin Durant and then the Chicago Bulls giving up to the Phoenix Suns, Zach LaVine, Javon Carter, and 2 first-round picks. Now, Bulls side of things, I absolutely love this. I would do this deal in a heartbeat to land KD, but my first thought was, this makes no sense for the Phoenix Suns. I think the Suns are going to blow up that big duo of KD and Devin Booker. But why would they go bring in Zach LaVine and have Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Zach LaVine all on the same roster? Like, they're all the same archetype of guard. I don't think that's what they would do. Maybe they would want to flip LaVine or have some type of deal in that regard. I can see how the first-round picks could be enticing to Phoenix since they don't really have any following the Kevin Durant trade, but I don't really think that makes too much sense for the Suns. And also, I was going through every trade idea because I wanted to do you guys a good service and look at if there was any path to the Bulls getting KD. I really don't see it, and that's what's pretty disappointing that the Bulls are just not going to be in the Kevin Durant sweepstakes this summer if the Suns do decide to offer him in a trade. But there's no doubt Kevin Durant is still one of the best 10 players in the NBA. I mean, his numbers this past year are just ridiculous, and even just looking at the past 4 seasons are just insane. Yes, injuries are starting to be a concern for the 7-foot sniper, but I mean, still averaging 27.3 points a night, 6.6 boards, and the efficiency is just ridiculous. I mean, the ability to be 7 feet tall and average what he does and do it on the efficiency he does as well, it's insane. But I do want to make this take. This is not the Kevin Durant that you would be getting that went to the Golden State Warriors, where it's like, no doubt he's a top 3 player in the league. I think Kevin Durant is closer to 10 than top 10 than top 3 right now in his NBA, kind of status. Like, I would still go guys like Anthony Edwards over him, Jason Tatum. Like, these younger guys are starting to catch up to him. So, would I want the Bulls to get Kevin Durant? Obviously. But I wouldn't want them to completely sell the farm for him. But if it was the trade idea of LaVine, Carter, and 2 first, I'd do it in a heartbeat. But you guys let me know. Would you trade for Kevin Durant? Give me a T for trade or a P for pass down in the comment section. I'm assuming a lot of T's will come in on this one, but hey, maybe you guys don't think KD's got that much left in the tank. But let me know your thoughts down below. Now, let's talk about Klay Thompson here. He's supposed to be one of the bigger name free agents this summer, and with the Bulls still a desperate need to add in a true shooter, does Klay make sense for them? But Klay Thompson, this past season, I know there's this narrative out there that he is completely cooked and he is completely washed. And, I definitely don't think Klay is the same guy that he once was, but, I still think he offers a ton of just, juice to an NBA team. I mean, you guys see the numbers over the last 3 years. Yes, he did drop off. 3-point shooting percentage did, take a pretty significant hit, but, I wanted to go deeper in this. And Klay is still an elite shooter in the league. Like, Klay's bad is still, in the top 3% of shooters in the NBA. I mean, still, catch and shoot 3-pointers, 38.1% or 0.1%. I'd take that. Pull up 3-point percentage, 41.4. You are taking that. Even the pull up Middy at 46.1 is still really solid. And, Spotrac does have a contract projection out there for Klay at 2 years, $55 million. I would honestly pay this to bring him to Chicago because, this isn't a move where it make the Bulls contenders right away, but this is a move that I think would help Kobe White now to Sumo. He's a 4-time NBA champ, great in the locker room, and just getting them a shooter on the outside, I think it would just, help them. Maybe Kobe White takes that Tyrese Maxey-esque jump, but Klay Thompson, being a shell of himself, no doubt, is still a decent option for the Bulls, and that's kind of my point. Like, if you say, like, oh, I want the Bulls to get, go sign Klay Thompson, people would be like, well, he's cooked. And yes, he is not the same player he once was, but in my opinion, he's still a top 15-ish shooting guard in the NBA, no doubt about it, and he's a 3-and-D guy. So I would be all in on Klay coming to Chicago, but obviously we had to come down, to the right price. But you guys let me know, would you sign Klay Thompson this offseason? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no down in the comments section. Coming up next here, we're going to be talking about the Bulls signing this elite shot blocker. I'll give you guys his name here in a second. But first, I do want to give a big-time shout-out to PrizePicks. If you guys download the PrizePicks app and use promo code CLNS on your first deposit, we are going to match it up to $100. What is PrizePicks? Well, it's daily fantasy sports made easy, and it's simple how you play. You pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections. So head to prizepicks.com/CLNS, and when you use promo code CLNS, when you're making your first deposit, we're going to match it up to $100. With NBA playoffs heating up, there's no better time to play PrizePicks. Trust me, it adds so much more juice to these playoff games, and I absolutely love it. I make a lineup for every single game, and I promise you, if you give them a chance, you guys will as well. Even if a game's a blowout, like some of these games have been over the past couple of nights, when you follow your PrizePicks lineup, you will watch all 48 minutes of just great NBA playoff action. So download PrizePicks and use promo code CLNS when you're making your first deposit, and we're going to match it up to $100. I'll put that link for you guys in the comments and description of today's show. prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. So let's talk about the shot blocking center that I think the Bulls should sign. But first off, I just think the Bulls need to add a new center and a new archetype of center. I want this to be a rim protection, lob threat type of build and that type of archetype instead of the Nikola Vucevic, where it's like he's an B offensive player, but he's a D- defensive player. So I want the Bulls to go in a new direction at the center spot. Will they be able to move off Vooch? I am not sure. Pretty unlikely that any, true contender would want to take a chance on him. But this shot blocker I want the Bulls to sign, this guy right here, Nic Claxton. So, he is one of the best defensive centers in the entire NBA. Hence why he averaged 2 blocks per game. And, I think having that guy behind Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu defensively to have that anchor would just overall make the Bulls defense a whole lot better. And in terms of offensively, I would love to see a Kobe White and Nic Claxton pick and roll. I think Kobe White has yet to play with a true lob threat at that roller spot. Will you add him Nic Claxton? I think that would be a great choice. I think it would also open up a whole lot more shots for him. And, maybe the Bulls, let's just say they do somehow sign Klay and they get Nic Claxton. They don't bring back DeMar DeRozan. And you could somehow go, Ayo, Kobe, Klay, Patrick Williams, and Nic Claxton. That's a pretty good defensive unit. And you would have shooting and you would have some pretty solid size. So, the Bulls definitely do have some options out there to be a better team next season. But just going to come down. Will this front office finally make big-time moves and just rip the Band-Aid off this purgatory that the Bulls have been in for the past couple of seasons? But hey, we'll have to obviously wait and see. But let me know. Name a player you want the Bulls to add this offseason. I want them to add a shot-blocking, rim-running center. That's just personally what I want. You guys let me know down below. And if we get any more updates on what the Bulls plan to do this offseason, we'll have a video for you guys ASAP. So hit that sub button, lock us in, and as always, Bulls fans, go Bulls.